Good morning. Today we will discuss regarding behavior. Any manifestation of life is activity, and the behavior is the collective name for these activities. Activities are divided into cognitive and affective activities. Cognitive activities are like walking, dancing, etc. Cognitive is thinking, reasoning, etc. Affective is feeling happiness, etc. Thus, behavior includes all these activities. All the activities are caused in a situation. Before taking a practical step of behavior in a situation, an individual tries to perceive the situation and arrives at a judgment. An individual's judgment depends on his degree of maturation, learning, and memory. Thus, perception, judgment, maturation, and learning form the subject of a study in behavior. Psychophysical characteristics or traits, social and cultural background also influence human behavior. An individual's behavior is influenced by many factors like nationalism, war, peace, revolution, etc. The abnormal conditions like unemployment, rumor, disease, natural calamities like flood, famine, etc. also affect the human behavior. Behavior also includes conscious, subconscious, and unconscious activities. Behavior is not limited to the human behavior only, it also includes behavior of plants and animals. Behavior of man is dynamic and changing. After studying human behavior, some psychologists viewed about some attitudes that exist within the man are responsible for some specific behavior. These attitudes are termed by them as drive and instinct. A need gives rise to a drive. A need moves an individual from within towards a goal. A need gives rise to an activating force named as drive that moves him to act or behave in a particular fashion at a particular time. Thus, drive may be defined as an activating force arising from needs and moves the organism to act or behave in a particular way. Thus, drive acts as a basic activating force behind behavior. A change in goal brings changes in the nature and strength of the drive. The strength of a drive depends upon the stimuli involving the related need. Drives are of two types, primary or biological and secondary and socio-psychological. Biological drives are usually innate in nature, they are unlearned, so they are also known as primary drives. They are related with biological mechanisms. Hunger, thirst, sex drives, etc. are the examples of biological or primary drive. The socio-psychological drives are acquired through learning. Thus, they are secondary drives. They are developed through the interaction with one's socio-cultural environment. Anxiety, fear, desire for achieving, etc. are socio-psychological drives. Nowadays, drive is replaced by the psychologist with the word motive. Instincts are the inborn tendencies or dispositions of an organism that give rise a series of non-voluntary actions in response to a whole situation. There are various types of instincts, like instinct for food, instinct of defense, instincts of sex, etc. A mother sparrow builds a nest, lays eggs, searches for food, and returns to the nest to feed her young is not learned but happens due to some innate disposition or instinct. There are certain other non-voluntary actions like closing of the eyelids when something threatens the eye, or contraction of the pupils in bright light. These are also not learned but innate, but they are not instinctive behavior. These are automatic mechanical actions which are directly operated by the spinal cord without bringing our brain in the picture. These are termed as reflex actions. There are certain similarities between instincts and reflex actions. Both are innate and inborn. They involve a fixed type of behavior in a specific situation. They are directed to the attainment of useful ends that safeguard and ensure the welfare of the organism. Again, they differ from each other. Instinctive behavior includes all cognitive behavior, cognitive and affective activities, but reflex action includes only the cognitive activities. Instinctive acts are controlled by the brain, but the reflex actions are controlled by the spinal cord. In describing dynamics of behavior, Sigmund Freud initially viewed that mental condition is divided into three elements: conscious, preconscious, and unconscious. According to him, unconscious state takes the major role in behavior. The unconscious state develops gradually due to repressed emotional experiences from childhood onwards. He believes that the sex instinct is the root of all human behavior. Due to social inhibition, the individual has to repress this desire, and as a result, this sex instinct enters into the unconscious state and acts as a motivating force of all the behavior. Later, he constructed a revised theory about the layers of mind as id, ego, and superego. The id corresponds to the unconscious, ego to conscious, and superego is the moral aspect. The id is the deepest part that contains all the primitive instinctive forces for pleasure-seeking activities. Thus, Freud advocated that id plays a major role in human behavior. A series of successors who was trained in traditional Freudian theory but who later rejected some of its major parts are known as Neo-Freudian psychologists. Carl Jung, Alfred Adler, Erik Erikson are the notable Neo-Freudian psychologists. Neo-Freudian psychologists gave more emphasis on ego than id. They viewed that ego had more control than id over day-to-day activities. They also paid greater attention to social factors, effects of society and culture on behavior. Scientific study of behavior. J.B. Watson advocated a method for studying behavior which is known as behaviorism. Watson propagated the theory of behaviorism, being inspired by the Pavlov's theory of conditioned reflex. Ivan Pavlov was a Russian physiologist who experimented on animals and advocated the theory of conditioned reflex. Watson implemented this approach in the study of behavior. He used the word stimulus in the place of consciousness of the behaviorists. He explained his process of seeing theory that the thing which appears before our eyes is stimulus. Stimulus produces response in the eye. In this way, stimulus produces the seeing process. Therefore, behaviorism, also known as stimulus response theory. Methods of study behavior. There are two methods of study the human behavior: method of observation and method of exposition. Method of observation consists subjective observation, objective observation, and experimental method. Subjective observation is also known as self-observation or self-conscious method of or introspection. It gives us direct, immediate, and certain and exact knowledge of our own mental process. Objective observation is also termed as inspection. By observation, the outer or external manifestations of the mind are known. Not only the individual mind, but also the collective mind also studied through observation. An experimental method is the scientific studying of mental processes by introspection and observation after having reproduced them artificially. Methods of exposition consist of developmental method, case history method, comparative method, psychoanalytic method, pathological method, and statistical method. The developmental or genetic method is an explanatory method of bringing out the genesis and development of mental process. In the case history method, a personal file is maintained for each individual. This file contains the factual details about physical, mental, and social development. Past experiences of a person in different situations and environments are taken to consider the present behavior in this method. A man's behavior is compared by comparing his behavior with other in comparative method. In psychoanalytic method, an attempt is made to unravel the mystery of the unconscious and understand the cause of undesirable behavior of the individual. Through psychoanalysis, we try to understand the innermost part of the unconscious. It consists of analysis of dream, hypnosis, free association, etc. Pathological method is the method adopted for understanding the mental maladies, decay of mental process, and diseases of the brain. Analysis of various people's behavior with the application of mathematics to experimental investigation is known as statistical method. It provides numerical information about events that take place in definite period of time in a given area. Today up to this, thank you all.